guys, welcome to today's video. As you guys saw in the title of this video, we are going to be looking at my art portfolio today. If you don't know what an art portfolio is pretty much just artwork that I've done. I personally didn't know what an art portfolio was before going to SCAD, so just in case anybody didn't know, I wanted to share that. I was originally enrolled in 3 classes. Those 3 classes were Culture and Context, which is art history, Design 100, which is 2D design, and Drawing 100, which is drawing 1. I ended up dropping out of drawing 1 for a bunch of different reasons, and if you want to learn a little bit more about that, I did talk a lot about it in my Let's Catch Up video, so I will link that down below if you want to check it out. I dropped out on the 4th week of school, so I do have artwork that I did for that class. They're not very good, but I am still going to show you guys since I did kind of sort of take the class. Our first project was to draw 14 still life objects. I had no idea how to draw, so I drew using math. This project took me 30 hours to do, which is crazy. I got an 80 on this project, which is not the grade that I expected to get, but you know, it's a pretty, reasonable grade for a rigorous professor and a new art student. I don't know, I'm just glad that I dropped out of the class. The second project is a shading project. For this project, we only were allowed to use graphite. Graphite is like a regular pencil, and we were not allowed to use any blending tools. So at the end of it all, doing little marks and making sure that it doesn't have any directional lines. That project took me about 23 hours. These projects were like one right after the other, and we were only given a week to do them. I spent a lot of time on these projects. They were very difficult for me, especially with me not having any experience in art, and I'm a huge perfectionist. Those are all the projects that I have for drawing 1, so moving on to design 100. So for this project, I made a children's book out of only pictures, and people are supposed to guess the word out of the picture, and together it makes a 6-word sentence. So the title of this book is Ouch, and you guys will see why. So the first 2 pages, this one is supposed to be an eye, but because of all of the design elements that I had to add into it, the ink made it look weird and not like an eye. But if you look closer, you can kind of tell. These are hearts. Everybody knows that hearts stand for love. On the next page is mac and cheese. This is a peach, and we all know that a peach stands for butt. On this page, I drew the clown from It. So the meaning for this one was it. It was my favorite thing to draw, and I was so proud of it at the end of it all. And then lastly, this is a boy that is hurt. So the meaning behind this is hurt. So together, I love mac and cheese, but it hurts. I love mac and cheese, but it hurts, which is true because I can't have dairy. This was actually my favorite project of the quarter. My second project for that class was to create graffiti. If you guys have ever seen graffiti, especially like the very artistic kind, if you really think about it and really look at it, you can tell that they're actually letters, even though they look like a completely different language. Together they make a tag, which is usually either someone's nickname or their favorite word or their name. It doesn't really matter what it is, it's their tag, it represents them. After this project, I don't look at graffiti as something illegal. I look at it as a really cool art, and every time I see it, I try to figure out the meaning behind the word. It's very difficult, but it's fun. So if you ever see graffiti, try to like guess what the name is. So this is my tag. You guys may think that it says Rives, but as you can see in the middle, there's a ram. Ram actually represents Aries. So if you turn this upside down, you can actually see that it's an A. I made the A really big to show that it's the very first letter of the word. So the word is actually Aries. And then for my last project in Design 100, we finally started introducing color. So for that project, I did an Alice in the Wonderland theme. I did Alice shrinking down. I had a lot of fun drawing that one. It took me a very long time to draw, but the paint actually kind of ruined it. I'm not gonna lie. I did it all in one night. So yeah, those were all of the projects that I did in my first quarter at SCAD. So my winter quarter at SCAD, SCAD, I took 2 classes unintentionally. Because I did dual enrollment in high school, I already finished all of my academic classes that I needed to do for college, and I was still considered a freshman, so I wasn't able to enroll to the second culture and context class. I ended up taking 2 studio classes, drawing 1 and design 101, which is color theory. Starting off with my design color theory class, my first project was a painting project. We had to choose a culture, which I chose Brazil, and then within that culture I chose the Carnaval and then Festa Junina, which probably nobody knows about. I actually edited a picture where it has both themes in it, and then down here I did the mask for the Carnaval and then did a dress for Festa Junina. My second project was very fun as well. It was very cool. I had to create a record cover. We did a 7-inch record cover. I chose to do Tame Impala. Tame Impala is psychedelic pop music, so I wanted to include psychedelia in my project. On the outside of the smoke is like normal life. It's pretty like dark, so that kind of shows like the reality of life. And then psychedelia is almost like a whole different world, and it reminds you a lot of like childhood in a sense. So in the smoke, as you can see right here especially, it changes into like a whole new world. This is originally a mountain and it has like these gradients and stuff like that. This is the sun, these are clouds, the rain turns into stars, so yeah. And then in the back is Kevin Parker and he's blowing out smoke. Inside of the smoke are the names of the songs on the album. I chose to do The Slow Rush, which is his latest album. This one was really fun to do. I actually did it in 2 days because I started over. At the end, I really liked the way that it turned out, but I wish I had more time so that I can work on it more. My last project, we actually created money. This one was really fun to do. I wanted to do something more simple because my other 2 projects were very like colorful and extravagant. I wanted to make this one really simple and not necessarily easy, but just like simple. This is like the regular money size. I really like the way that it turned out. So for this project, we had to create both a big size and a regular size. And the big size is just for the presentation, and then the little is like, you know, the money. I chose to do outer space. I call my money Astros. I did astrology, again, Aries, because I'm an Aries. We had to also include a security feature, so I used tape, like glittery tape, that's gold, so it kind of fits into the theme of my project. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I feel like the security feature kind of put together the entire project. Moving on to my drawing 1 class. My first project in drawing 1 was a still life line drawing. I did it using a ballpoint pen. As you guys can see, it is very geometrical because I love math. But at the end of it all, I was very proud of this project actually. It didn't take me long at all. I'm pretty sure it only took me 8 hours to do. I bet some of you guys are like, 8 hours? Yeah, 8 hours is not bad. Moving on to my second project. This project was a perspective drawing, both 1 point and 2 point. My professor was actually only grading it as a participation and like getting it done almost kind of project. It was an in-class drawing, so the only thing we really had to do was draw the requirements, and if we did, then we pass. So this one was fun for me to do, but at the same time it was pretty easy because it was an in-class drawing and I love perspective drawing. My next project is a shading project, kind of. I drew an airplane. This one took me 8 hours as well. Pretty boring. And then for my last 2 projects that I did in my drawing class, I actually had to do at the same exact time in the last 2 weeks of school. So for one of them, we had to create like a monster or some sort of thing out of one object. I used like a hair clip, a butterfly hair clip that's really big. I always thought that it looks like a fish that will literally eat you alive. So like I drew that as like my monster, And then I drew an island with the ocean for my perspective drawing. I made the environment very cloudy and dark, but also very beautiful at the same time. So with the monster that's gonna eat you alive, it's very like contrasting in a sense. I was originally gonna do lightning as well, but my professor said that would be too hard, even though it wouldn't necessarily be that bad. So I didn't do it. Either way, this took me like an hour to do because I was like, I don't care. But it's also like very beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. Like if it weren't for this random hair clip in the middle, I would hang this up. I was very proud of it, even though the tree doesn't look like an actual tree, because I really messed it up. But you know, unless you think about it too hard, it looks legit. I got a very good grade on it for spending only an hour on it. So yeah, I mean, I'm proud of it. So for this next project, I had to create a Head and Shoulders living creature, I guess, from me or some other living animal. I chose to do me and Charlie because I've always wondered what it would look like to be a dog or if Charlie were human. This project was my absolute favorite to do. It's my favorite overall. At the end, I will most likely hang this up because it is so cute and funny. It literally looks like Charlie in a sense. So here it is. What we had to do was with charcoal draw different parts of our bodies and do like a study on them. I did my like shoulders, top of my chest and neck area. I did Charlie's mouth, which is like so perfect. I did Charlie's nose. And then I did both my eyes, one small and one big. Lastly, I did my two eyebrows. After drawing and, you know, shading in the areas that I needed to shade in, I had to cut them out and then place them together in a way that makes it look like heads and shoulder. Obviously, I already did my shoulder, and then I did different parts of the face. And at the end, it looks like head and shoulders. And it's so flippin' cute. And I love it, and it's so funny, and I cannot with it. Those were all of the projects that I did in the last 2 quarters that I've been at SCAD. It has been a long, difficult, long journey at SCAD, but this past quarter was really awesome. Again, if you haven't checked out my Let's Catch Up video, I will link it down below. From now on, I will be sharing with you guys every quarter all of the projects that I did that quarter. That way, it's not like a huge, long video with all of these projects. If you stayed all the way to the end of this video, make sure to comment down I'm a real one so that I can know that you are a real one. Check out my social medias. Look who decided to come. Oh my goodness, you're so happy. Why are you just looking at me like that? I want a husband that looks like me. Look at me like that. I want a husband that looks at me the way you look at me. Bye you guys, we love you. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you guys next time. Oh, bye.